if you don't have to do this, and then this, and then this, and then that. Pretty handy, right? Now in the beginning, this felt a little bit uncomfortable. That sounds weird. And once you adapt, you'll be able to reach everything faster forever. Hello fellow creator, welcome back to the channel, the best spot on YouTube for creative productivity and growth. So as a creator, I spend the majority of my time working on my MacBook here. And so with time, I picked some tips and tricks on how to navigate my Mac a lot faster. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 skills, 3 tactics, and 3 apps that I use to navigate my MacBook at the speed of light. You can find the timestamps in the description if you want to skip ahead for a particular section. But for now, let's just get started and let's move into the computer. And let's start by talking about skills. And let's start by talking about the first skill, shortcuts. So as a general rule, if you want to navigate your MacBook a lot faster, you want to try to avoid working with your mouse as much as possible and instead use the keyboard for most of your navigation. Now, in order to do that, you must learn a few keyboard shortcuts for the actions that you take the most. Now, there are entire videos dedicated to just keyboard shortcuts that you can learn. But the way that I like to think about it, because I don't want to memorize all these keyboard shortcuts, it's to apply the 80-20 rule to the keyboard shortcuts. And what that means is, what are the 20% of the shortcuts that I'm going to use 80% of the time? And also focus on the apps that I use most of the time during my day. So the absolute #1 app that I use every single day is Chrome. So let me show you my screen and talk about the few 20% of the keyboard shortcuts that I use in Chrome. Alright, so let's first open Chrome. So the first shortcut is opening a new tab on the browser window that you are on. And to do that, all you need to do is click Command-T and you have a new tab. Now, if you want to close that tab, all you have to do is Command-W. If instead you want to open the new tab on a new browser window, all you have to do is Command-N. And now you have a new window on a new browser window. And what that means is if I swipe up here, you'll see that I have 2 Chrome screens, and that means I have 2 windows on 2 different sessions. Now let's open a few tabs, 5 tabs here, and I want to navigate through all of them. And there are a couple ways that you can do this. The first one is if you hit Command-1, you go to the first tab, Command-2 to the second, third, fourth, and fifth. And that goes all the way, I believe, until Command-9. But most of the times I have more than 9 tabs open. So if you want to move to the next tab, all you need to do is click Control-Tab, and that will move you to the next tab on your list. And you'll see here, if I keep clicking, it will keep going to the next tab. Now, sometimes you want to move to the previous tab instead. And all you need to do then is click Control, Tab, Shift, and that will move to the previous tab. So that is navigation on tabs. Now, one of the most annoying things that can happen is closing a tab by accident. So for example, here I have my YouTube channel open, and entirely by accident I click Command-W and I close this window. And now you're in panic mode because you gotta get that window back. And you don't want to waste time going through the history to find that specific website. So don't panic, all you need to do is click Command-Shift-T and that will reopen the last closed tab. And the great thing about this command is that if you keep using it, it will keep reopening the last closed tab. So for example, if I click Command-W twice, and I close 2 tabs, then all I need to do is click Command-Shift-T and that will reopen the last 2 closed tabs. Pretty handy, right? Then we also have finding something within a page, and the command for that is the one that I use in most apps, which is Command-F. So let's say that I wanted to find my video about time blocking. All I have to do is click Command-F here, I'm gonna write blocking, and I immediately find what I'm looking for. Then another keyboard shortcut that I use a lot in Chrome, and not a lot of people know about it, is Command-L, and that takes you to the search bar. So now you're able to move to another website without leaving the current tab that you're on. So if I hit Command-L here, it will just take me to the search bar. And finally, there's only 2 more commands that I use. The first one is Command-R, and that's going to reload this page. And if you want to do a hard refresh instead, all you have to do is Command-Shift-R, and that's going to be a hard refresh of this page. So by just learning and memorizing a few of the keyboard shortcuts on the apps that you use the most, you'll be able to save so much time navigating through your MacBook. So let's talk about the second skill, which is typing faster. So again, you're going to try to use your keyboard as much as you can to navigate around your MacBook. So it's helpful to learn how to type a little bit faster. Now, the average speed of a professional typist is in between 50 to 80 words per minute. And you can actually see your score in a website called 10fastfingers.com. So let's do that now. Alright, so I scored 81, which is not super impressive, but again, that's faster than most people. Actually, according to this website, I'm on the top 20%. Now, the goal here obviously is not to be the fastest typist in the world. The goal is to improve your typing speed just a little bit so that you can navigate and write in your computer a lot faster. So that's the first part. You can go to a website like this every single day and try to increase your speed while typing on your keyboard. Then another thing that you can do to increase your skill is learn 10-finger typing. Because to write a lot faster, you gotta use all your 10 fingers. That sounds weird. And to do that, you can go to a website called keybr.com, and there'll be practice exercises for you to learn how to type faster with your 10 fingers. So let's do that right now. Alright, so that was one practice round. And what you'll see is that the current key, C, not calibrated, needs more samples. So as you do more exercises, this app is learning the keys that you're not using as efficiently, and changing the exercise is going to force you to use the keys that you're not so comfortable with. So let's do another round really quick.
Stop it!
And now it tells me that H needs more samples. So those are the two websites that you can use to hopefully try to master the skill and write a little bit faster on your keyboard. Another thing that helps me is not looking at the keyboard while writing. And to do that, you gotta know at all times where all the keys are. And again, this comes a little bit with practice, but you're gonna be a lot faster, you're gonna save a lot of time if you don't have to do this, and then this, and then this, and then that. So remember to try not to look at your keyboard, just at your screen while you're typing away. All right, the third skill is all about organize. Now, in our computers, we have so many files, so many folders, so many things that we have to look for. And in those times, it is helpful, very helpful, that you organize in a way that it's helpful to retrieve later. All right, so let's open Finder here. And you'll see here on the side, you have the favorites, desktop, applications, downloads, documents, AirDrop, and then 2 other folders. So for the folders that you use the most in your Finder, you can actually move them here. So for example, if I go here into documents, areas, and then YouTube, I can actually move this into the favorites. And all I have to do is drag that folder, I'm gonna put it below documents, and now I have a direct access to that folder, YouTube. Later in this video, I'm gonna talk about an app that I use instead to open my folders automatically. But if you use Finder a lot, this is one of the ways that you can use it. And to remove it, all you gotta do is drag it back. And you'll see that I have this organized about projects, areas, resources, and archive. Now, if you watch my previous video where I talk about the Para system, you know what I'm talking about. But basically, I organize all my folders within all my apps the same way using the Para system. Another thing that you can do, and let's go back to Google Chrome here, is to not have a lot of clutter in your bookmarks bar. And before I used to have all of this, but now I don't actually use bookmarks that much anymore. But if you want to do, what you could do is, for example, my website, you can go click here, just remove the name and then move it to the bookmarks bar, and you'll see now that this appears here and it's just the icon. Now, for example, this is the Google Drive for my business. I don't need text next to it. And this is run by Zettelkasten. But for example, for these spreadsheets, because I have 4 of them, I need different names for it to know which one I'm looking for. So don't use a lot of folders, and you can compress all of the icons by not giving it a description, by just looking at what is called the favicon, the image of that website. So any app that you use, if you use Notion, if you use Roam, if you use a to-do list manager, just make sure that you organize in a way that's going to help future you find what you are looking for. All right, let's move on to the tactics. And the first one is called maximum speed. Now, the best thing, like I said, is working from your keyboard most of the times. But sometimes you're going to need to use the mouse. Now, the standard settings that come from the mouse is that it's set at the average speed. And what I did, and was really a game changer, was set the scrolling speed at the maximum. So to do that in the MacBook, all you have to do is go into mouse, open that, and you'll see here tracking speed, and you can pull that all the way to being the fastest. Now, the scrolling speed before I also used the fastest, but because now my mouse has the scrolling wheel, I don't need to be the fastest. Also, the double click speed, the fastest as possible. And what that means is that you're gonna move really quickly with your mouse around the screen. Now, in the beginning, this felt a little bit uncomfortable. I keep missing where I wanted to click with my mouse. But with time, your brain, your hand, and your eyes are gonna adjust to that new speed, and you're now able to work at maximum speed on your mouse. And actually, when I go into someone else's computer now, I get a little bit frustrated because the mouse is so slow. So tracking speed to the maximum, you can do it right now. That's all there is to it. And once you adapt, you'll be able to reach everything faster forever.
Speed.
Now, the second thing that I use a lot is search within websites. So if we go back to Chrome here and I type youtube.com and I simply click the spacebar here, it's gonna allow me to search within YouTube. So for example, I just search my name and now I open YouTube. And you're able to do this same trick in so many other websites. For example, medium.com. We can search within Medium. Now, what if the website that you want to search doesn't have that feature? So for example, if I want to search within dansylvester.com, that's not possible. It doesn't have that feature. What I can do then is just go in the beginning of my sentence to jump to the beginning of your text. By the way, that's command left arrow. All I need to do is write site, and that will be able to search within my website. So now let's move it till the end and just write batching. And now I'm able to find the article that I'm looking for, which is all about batching inside my website. So when you add this site and then the site that you want, it's going to search within that specific website. So for example, reddit.com and then productivity, I'm able to search within Reddit using the keyword productivity. So that's searching within websites. And then the third tactic that I use a lot are multiple desktops. So you have this ability of having multiple desktops on Mac. And all you have to do is swipe 4 fingers up. And on the top here, you'll see that this is desktop 1. So for example, if I click the plus here, I'll be able to have a second desktop. And now let's say that I wanted to move this part of system preferences and the mouse to the second desktop. So then I can drag it to the second desktop. And now on the first one, I'm just seeing the Google Chrome window that I'm showing you. And then on the second, I have the preferences of the mouse. And then if I want to navigate to the previous desktop, I don't have to do 4 fingers up and then go here and click there. All I have to do is swipe with 4 fingers to the left And if I want to move back to the second window, 4 fingers to the right. Now, why is this so helpful? Because throughout the course of the day, I'll be working on so many different things. And so I use desktops as kind of the separator on the tasks that I'm doing on a specific day. So for example, on the first desktop, I might have the new video that I'm about to launch on YouTube. Then the second desktop, a new article that I'm writing. And then on the third desktop, some research that I'm doing for a new project. And then you're even able to move the desktops around in case you want to always have the first desktop on the main task that you're doing right now. And all you have to do is drag and it'll go and switch the desktops. And then if you want to move that back, you can go here. And then all you have to do is click that arrow and close that desktop. And now we only have the one desktop, which has everything that we have. All right, that's it. Let's talk about the part that most people like, which are the apps. And the one app that I always recommend, and I've talked about it a lot in previous videos, is Alfred. Now, by default, macOS gives you the Spotlight, which is great by itself, but Alfred is kind of like Spotlight on steroids.
Don't say it. Don't you say it. Left. Come on!
And what that means is you'll be able to do so much more by using Alfred instead of just using Spotlight. So let's open Alfred here, and you'll see that it has this kind of cool hat. And for example, one of the things that I use the most, you do apostrophe, and then let's say time management, and I'm able to quickly open the folder that I'm looking for, which is my video on time management. And that's the trick, that you don't need to move the things on your favorites, that you can just open with Alfred instead. So for example, if I wanted how I make my YouTube videos, and because they are different folders using the name YouTube, but actually the one that I want is the fourth here, all I have to do is click Command 4, and that will open that folder. So if you search a keyword that gets used a lot, but you want the second one, you want the main folder of YouTube, all I have to do, Command 2, and that will open the main folder with all the subfolders, which are videos. And another great thing is you can launch a Google search through Alfred as well. So I hit Command Spacebar, which you might recognize as the keyboard shortcut for Spotlight. And then all I have to do is say Dan Sylvester Batching, and that opens a Google search immediately. And you can do the same for Amazon and Wikipedia. For example, let's say Wikipedia, so Command 3, and that is going to open Wikipedia on the page about batching. So instead of going into Chrome and typing what I'm looking for, with Alfred, I can immediately open that search. And also you can use it to open apps like Lightroom, or if you want to open instead VLC, for example, all the apps can be opened by using Alfred. And sometimes you open so many things on your desktop, and it's nice to organize all the windows. And for that, I use Spectacle. Spectacle is basically a Windows resizer. And what that means is, for example, let's open Chrome here. By using a command, which I have customized to Control-Option-Command left, I'm able to move that Chrome window to the left part of my screen. And then if I open a new one and I type Control-Option-Command right, I'm able to have that window on the right side. One of the use cases I have for this is I'm doing a new video or a new article. And so by using Spectacle, I'm able to have the research on the left side, and I'm able to write the script or the article on the right side. And Spectacle, which is completely free, you can just click here on these cool glasses, and you can find all the keyboard shortcuts to resize windows. So for example, Option Command C, it's telling me that it centers the window. So if I go there and I click Command Option C, it goes into the center. So again, I highly recommend Spectacle. There are many other window resizing apps. Spectacle is just the one that I use. If you have another one that you really like, please post it in the comments so that we can all be more productive together. Right, let's move on to the last app that I use to navigate a lot faster, and that is Video Speed Controller. Now, Video Speed Controller is actually a Chrome extension. And after installing this Chrome extension, you'll be able to speed up or slow down videos anywhere you want on the web. So for example, let's go here into YouTube. Let's find a video. So let's open this one, how I manage my time. Right, and you'll see here on the top left, there'll be a 1.0, which means that this is the actual speed of the video. And now if I just click D, it will go into 110 speed. And if I keep clicking, it will keep increasing the speed of the video. So now it's at 2x speed. Now YouTube offers 2x speed, but with Video Speed Controller, you can do 3x, 4x, 10x speed. Basically as fast as you can listen to understand what's being said. So this is 330, it's a little bit fast. I can go into S, which is just next to D, and that will slow down the video always by 0.10. And so you'll be able to speed up videos by just using one letter in your keyboard, which just between you and me, it's basically the dream. So those are my top 9 productivity tips to move faster in your MacBook. If you have a few more tips yourself or a specific app that you really like, please leave a comment, because I'm always on the lookout to learn something new on how I can work faster and be more efficient working in my MacBook. And then if you want to find out about all the apps that I use in my MacBook Pro, I have just a video for you. All you have to do is click here to go watch a video where I talk about all the apps that I use in my MacBook Pro. So click here to go watch that video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.